Joining us now is Cenk, host of MSNBC's 6 p.m. live show, and, of course, of the Young Turks. Cenk, thanks very much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Rachel.
Cenk, I wanted to talk to you about this because you have been one of the few people in our business really aggressively advocating that Anthony Weiner should not resign. Why do you think he should not have resigned, and how do you feel now that he has?
All right. Well, let me address it in two different ways. First of all, it's a scandal about his private life, which I don't give a damn about. JFK had endless mistresses. FDR had mistresses. Who cares? Did that affect the New Deal? Did that affect the Cuban Missile Crisis? This has nothing to do with substance. He did nothing illegal. And the second reason is more important. This is what Republicans do. They come after the strongest people in your party. And if you back down, and that is what Democrats do, they will keep coming and they will keep coming. Right before I came on here, Rachel, I thought I'd written about this before. I went and checked. Back in 2005, one of the first blogs I ever wrote, it's called 7-Step Plan for Media Domination and Opponent Destruction. And it explained what Republicans do. And step one was attack the strongest Democrat. At the time, it was Howard Dean. Now, we see Anthony Weiner, one of the strongest progressives, attacked. And then step 6 is something I was amazed that I wrote this 6 years ago. Quote, get your opponents to take down their own people for fear that they will keep getting asked the same annoying, senseless questions from you and your proxies in the media. And the reason they will give is the one you conveniently planted. The target has become a distraction. Look at that unfold. It's unfolded over and over. And at the time, they had done it to Howard Dean. You know why? Because he said that Tom DeLay maybe should go to jail. You know what happened? Tom DeLay got convicted many years later. Howard Dean was absolutely right. But at the time, they turned up the outrage machine. How can the head of the DNC say something like this? And what happened? I've got quotes from Biden, from Bob Strauss, who used to be the head of the DNC, and John Edwards saying, oh, we can't have a Democrat doing things like this. It's a distraction.
Wow. On that distraction issue, Nancy Pelosi today, Cenk, held her usual weekly press conference, right? All the networks, including ours, cut away. We're taking it live, and they cut away from it when she said instead of talking about Anthony Weiner, she would be talking about jobs. That was it. That was the end of the coverage today. You think they're going to take her next press conference on jobs live now that Anthony Weiner has resigned because now the distraction will be over?
The answer to that question is hell no, they're not. Okay. And look, I get it, right? Because it's titillating. It's funny. And it's actually what I call the snicker rule. You're in a lot of trouble in this country if you're a politician and what you got caught doing, whether it's pictures, and look at all the pictures. Chris Lee, Anthony Weiner. Shirtless pictures, gone, right? Mark Foley, funny text. Weiner, funny text, gone, right? If it makes the media snicker, they're going to cover it. Did you see in those mics that they had for Weiner? One of the mics was extra. When Extra and things like Access Hollywood show up at your press conference, you're done for. The problem with Vitter? It was just phone records. Phone records aren't titillating. They don't make you snicker. That's why he's still a senator.
We get John Ensign, though. We get the special counsel report on John Ensign. The special counsel report on John Ensign, I felt like I had to wash my hands after reading it. Not because the special counsel had done anything wrong, but because the details in it were the sexual equivalent of gory in terms of what he had done, the level of detail they had on the behavior that got him chased out of the Senate. He resigned just a few inches ahead of the pitchforks that were chasing him out of there. And the John Ensign scandal, it sort of made sidebar stories for 24 hours and then it's gone. I get that the picture thing makes a difference, that it is a visual medium. But I believe there is a partisan agenda in pushing different sex scandals more than others.
You know, I had Pat Buchanan on the show today at 6 o'clock, and he said, you know who I defended? Richard Nixon. Why? Because he was my guy. And he laughed at us. He laughed at progressives, saying, you guys never defend your guys. And it makes it so much easier. Republicans always circle the wagons, and then you know what they do, which is very important. And again, what I wrote about 6 years ago, they use the media. They say, how dare you not cover this terrible scandal by Anthony Weiner? Later, Boehner would come out and say, oh, it's such a distraction, right?
Yes.
How disingenuous. But when it comes to Republicans, they say, you know what, this is so salacious. How dare you cover this? You know, I am so ashamed of you in the media. And the media goes along with it every time.
Cenk, host of MSNBC's 6 p.m. Live and, of course, of the Young Turks. Cenk, I've been wanting to talk to you about this for a while. Thanks for your time tonight, man.
Thank you, Rachel.